Right then, okay. Q user 1. Oh, alright then. I'm just going to share it around, guys. You know what it's like. Let's have a look. Hope everyone's alright. Oh, come on, hurry up. Oh, come on, hurry up. There'll be some noise, wind noise on the mic, and that's caused by the fan which I've got on, which unfortunately I have to have on tonight, otherwise I'm just going to get too hot. Okay. There we go. Let's get rid of this. Alright guys, sorry to keep you waiting. That's not that I want. Oh, it's taking ages. Let's go. Hello, user 1. Hello. Oops. Oh no, bloody hell. Right. Here we go. Right. Oh, everyone's... Hello everyone, how you doing guys? How you all going? Alright. Why is my computer running so slow? Oh. I'm going to get a new one actually. But hello everyone, hello user 1, hello Israel Diego Rivera Genius to the real genius, hello Dark Corners, Lisa Cry Freedom, hello Hugo, Spliffs, 18 king size beer, tin beer in the box of Brewdog ready. Oh my god, you're going to be in good form tonight. Ready for this on time today. We'll grind some more weed and make more spliffs while watching this. I'm just going to call the police. Rick Horden, hello. Woody Black, Bernie Tucker, Azipam, and Martin Taylor, good evening. Rhiannon Jones, how you doing? Hope you're alright, Rhiannon. You don't like the hot weather, I know. Malaya Grimm, hello. Taff, Derek Baker, and Steve071, welcome. How are you all? Hope you're well. Okay guys, I'm just going to share this around. It appears to be my computer's running, and Steve07, my computer's running a bit slow, as it tends to do. I'm actually going to order a new one from the bloody what's it called, computer place I go to. I'm actually going to get a new one because it's just it's silly. Alright guys, there we go. Right, just paste that. Pardon me. Okay, I'll just share this around now actually. I'll just share this video because it saves me doing it later. So I'll just share it in all my groups. Okay. I've got my own group, but I've got to be careful I don't share it in the Carl Benjamin group. That's Sargon of Akkad's group. Because I might do that by accident. I don't think they want to know about some of the things I talk about. Okay, and of course, Twitter. Let's put it on Twitter. Here we go. Hashtag Heatwave. Heatwave UK. Heatwave. That's trending. Okay. Alright, guys. I hope you're all doing alright. I want to say a big hello to everyone. Lisa says, I love the hot weather. I saw the photos you posted, Lisa. Yeah. Steve071. It's now only hot instead of very, very hot. And we've got Sunflower Express. Greetings. Hey, glad to catch you live. I'm glad you did. Nothing as it seems. It's 23 Celsius, 74 Fahrenheit here at 1 PM BST. Alright, where are you? PST. Right, you're in the US West Coast, are you? And Woody Black said, I believe Sargon used to be quite into conspiracy theories and such. So I hear, Woody. Yeah, he said he used to be in the 9/11 Truth group. Vince G, it's raining and breezy in Kent, a welcome relief. I'm glad, because, you know, Vince, it's rained here in Oxford as well. We've had like about, it's not rain, only rained for a few minutes, but it was nice. There are showers chasing across the landscape, and of course in Kent you need it because that's where you've had wildfires. And the good news is it's going to end. It's going to end sometime overnight, very abruptly. The temperature is going to drop back to 26 degrees, which is a fraction of what it is now. It's way more than like normal. It's going to happen very suddenly. Martin Taylor says, Ben, you mentioned in your talk Damien the Omen 2. Well, my cousin Jonathan Scott Taylor played Damien in the film. Oh, did he? Right. Oh, the young boy. Yeah, Martin, that's your cousin. Oh, cool. Oh, right. That's a bit of trivia there, Martin. Nice one. I did like the second one as well. I mean, the third one is the best, definitely. It's odd that it's the trilogy, but the third one, the first one was all right. The second one's okay. The third one was the best, though. Yeah, it's very apocalyptic. And Rhiannon Jones says, but not everyone thinks this is good stuff, Lisa. Yeah, I mean, some people love it, others don't. I know Lisa loves it. I could enjoy it in certain locations not when it's excessive. Like if I'm sitting in a pub beer garden in the shade, as you know, Rhiannon, because you've seen me do it. That's actually lovely. I do love that. And Rick Horton's mentioned something here. London's burning. Well, it's not exactly the Great Fire of 1666, the year with 3 sixes, 666. Yeah, it's not the 666 fire. But it is. There is some fire, I think, in Kent, in fields and things like that, and it's out. It's the fire brigade is trying to put it out. This rain will help us. It's going to rain tomorrow as well in some areas as well, and it's going to go back to normal, which is good. Yeah. And the Hoover Dam thing. What's that all about? Hello, number one fan. How are you? Stevo71, you've been protecting your bonds, Ben. You'll see in a minute, Woody, exactly what I've been doing. Put it this way. There was a prop that was in one of my previous videos I have found a way to reuse. Lisa says, the wildfires didn't happen years ago all the same. All engineered, in my opinion. Lisa, I do wonder, actually, if it's somehow they've been lit deliberately. It wouldn't surprise me. But people say major fires in the city centre. Is there? It's actually not just in Kent then? Just outside London. It's not nice when you have to work on. Yeah, I mean, my day at work was... I'll show you some videos in a minute, which I filmed yesterday. Today it was actually even hotter. It was hotter by a full degree. I actually did have a job cancelled today. I had to take a dog for a walk, and basically in the news they're saying don't take your dogs for walks in the afternoon. I reached down and touched the ground, and it was too hot to touch. I'm not saying you could fry an egg on it, but like you can in the desert. But I think it would be. It certainly felt. I think it was too hot for a dog to walk on. So I told my client. They said, "Oh, let's not do the walk today." Yeah. Oh, it's in Dartford. Martin Taylor, wildfires in Dartford. Hopefully that'll be. And Stevo71 says they called off 5 race meetings yesterday today over the heat. I'm glad. Poor horses. It would be a bit much for the horses, I think. And Woody Black says that the thing at Hoover Dam is a transformer blown. Right. Probably maybe nothing then. John. Tiana says the Tesco delivery man was telling me they don't have aircon in the vans. It's what? Bloody hell. It's good enough for the produce because that's how Tesco makes a profit, but the poor employees have to swear. Oh, for sweet effing's sake. I mean, surely, I thought everything had aircon now. Most vehicles have aircon. That's disgusting. That's disgusting, Rhiannon. John Fuse says, I'm a snowflake, sorry, can't stand this bloody weather, but don't like the weather going over the top. I must admit I don't like this at all. Well, you know what, I think maybe because we're British, we're never satisfied with the weather. We have to complain about it. We always have to complain about it. It's so we crave this sort of weather out of the season. When we got it, we don't like it. Yeah. Bernie Tucker is drinking ice cold cider in a still very hot Essex. Oh, I've got the fan on. Yeah, I've got the fan on. You'll be able to hear it on the microphone. Sorry about that. It's like when I did my comments reply video. Tasenga Ndale. I came to Africa and enjoyed the climate. Well, you'll probably Tasenga. That's an African-sounding name. If you live there, you're probably used to it. Hello, Stephen Truthseeker. Hello, Malaya Grimm. Hello. Oh, Rhiannon loves the rain. It's going to rain. Yeah, that's the good news, Rhiannon. It seems like it's over. Of course, these things can happen more than once in a season, but at least I've looked at the forecast for the next foreseeable forecast. That is the next 7 days or so. It's quite low temperatures actually. It's sort of more. It's more average temperatures, 23 to 26 degrees, mixed rain and sun. So it's yeah. All right, guys. So. Let's get it. Let's just break this down now. We've all, everyone in Britain. Across Europe, we've all had this. Now, this heat wave for a couple. Well, it's lasted for a couple of weeks in France and Spain and places like that. They're more used to it, though. They are more used to it on the continent, especially down in the Mediterranean area, south of France, Spain, Italy. It regularly gets that hot. I know my dad's been to Greece quite a few times, and he said it's very hot there. Now the reason Steve071 has mentioned Secret of the Skinwalker. No, I've not seen it yet. No, haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. No. Martin Taylor says my youngest daughter is in the London Fire Brigade. Hope she's okay. All right, is she a firewoman? All right. Number one fan hoping for a big storm. Me too. Yeah. All right, guys. So heat wave has happened, and heat waves are caused by it's caused by high pressure in summertime, and it's a period of unusually hot weather. It can last for a few days. They can last for weeks. The one in 2003 lasted for about 6 weeks. I remember. By the time it got to the end of it, I was sort of acclimatized. I think everyone was acclimatized. But it occurs when a system of high atmospheric pressure moves into an area and lasts for 2 or more days. Air from the upper levels of the atmosphere is pulled towards the ground, where it becomes compressed and increases the temperature. The high concentration of pressure makes it difficult for other weather systems to move into the area, which is why a heat wave can last quite a long time. The longer the system stays in the area, the hotter the area becomes. The high pressure inhibits winds, making them faint and non-existent. Because the high pressure system also prevents clouds from forming in the region, sunlight can become punishing, heating up the system even more. The combination of all these factors can come together and create an exceptionally hot period of time we call a heat wave. Now, where these different kinds of atmospheric pressures occur is decided by wind patterns. They mentioned the high jet streams and things like that. Now, what's happened over the last couple of days is there's been anomalous wind patterns. Now, they're not so anomalous as they used to be. It appears these anomalous wind patterns are becoming more common. In the last couple of decades, they've become far more common than they were in the few decades before that. But what's happened is there's flows of air that come from the Atlantic Ocean, and it blows from the Atlantic Ocean, prevailing eastwards into the continent. Now, a lot of these usually go. What happens is the very hot air normally goes over the Mediterranean and North Africa, but because of this anomalous wind direction, it's actually moved north. So this hot air is actually moving northwards to northern Europe, where normally it would stay about 1,000 miles further south. As a result, we're getting temperatures now you normally only see in far more southern regions. And now, this I say it's happened more and more. It's happened more and more. Yeah. Lisa mentions HARP. I'm going to come on to HARP in a little while, but I'll just go through your comments that we've left behind. Stephen thinks the fires look like arson. They may well be, actually. Stephen, I wouldn't put it past them that. The thing is, fires can start spontaneously in hot weather. Of course, they do all the time. But at the same time, there seems to be some kind of desire to make this into like a major melodrama. You may have noticed in the media. In fact, I'll just maybe I should show you the video. Oh God, we got spammers again. I'm gonna have to show the videos in a minute, but Lisa, if you can help me get rid of these spammers, if you can remove. Here we go. When the videos are showing. Oh dear. Go away, you spammers. How do I do this? Put user on timeout. There we go. Can I delete this? Oh, I think I've already deleted the message. All right. And see, Stephen Truthseeker says, remember when there was extreme fires in Australia a few months later, they locked down the tyrannical government. Can we expect the same here? Are they going to... Well, this is it. They seem to have found some excuse to lock people in their homes. Now, there is... there's reason to be concerned. There's reason to be concerned for health when hot weather arises. There are hazards associated with hot weather, but these can be avoided. Hello, Villanora. How are you? But Stephen, yeah, the wildfires in Australia were blamed on climate change, and I'm going to bring up climate change quite a lot, because hello, crafty nihilists. You back from Ireland yet? Steve071. Chemtrails have been heavy in Durham Coast, right? You see, what happened was that because of environmental laws in Australia that changed, they're not allowed to cut away undergrowth anymore, and that's probably what contributed to the fires more than actual climate change in Australia. I remember Max Egan did a thing about that. Now, there seems to be a desire to create melodrama out of this. Do you have a nice time, crafties? Let me just show you the pictures. Hang on. Look, I think Sargon of Akkad brought this up as well. Here we go. If I can find it. Where are they? Where's all these pictures? I've got them scattered around. I'll wait for the app to open. Hello, Dark Corners UK. How you doing? Glenn Rocks. Hello. Hello, David Keith. Come on, you bloody slow bastard. Now there's nothing happening. I'm just trying. I want to see view this picture. The bastard's not opening. I'm glad you had a good time, Crafty. I am. I really am. All right. I'm not going to use that app. It's no good. One sec, guys. I'll just show you. This is taking a long time. Right click. Hourglass. There we go. Open with the old picture viewer. There we go. I don't know how many of you have seen this. Let me just show it to you. Maximize. Nothing's happening. Alright, guys. Just going to have to... It looks really good, Crafty. I did watch a bit of your video. I want to maximise. That's it. Right. Thank you. Now, have a look at this. There we go. See how these weather... Sargon of Akkad mentioned this. You see how these weather maps have changed? It's like... See, look. Do you remember these old-style weather maps where you had like little images on here? Little sun pictures which indicated what the weather was going to be like in that area. And then temperature... And you had temperature markings next to it. Now that's all changed. They've developed a system of colours and contours, and it's designed to look like fear and destruction. It's called summer. Now look at that. It's like blood. It is literally like the country's soaked in blood. And I've noticed this. I've noticed a lot of very, very scary kind of rhetoric associated with this heat wave. I mean, for example, the media have been using words like burning, killer, meltdown. A lot of the news stories are accompanied by pictures of flames, just like motifs around pictures. You'd have a photo and everything's surrounded by flames. They want us to be scared. They want us to be scared of what's going on. They do. Okay, I'll leave that. Let me just show you the videos. I made some videos. Let's have a look. And so, welcome everyone. Maybe the computer doesn't like the heat wave. Maybe. I'm actually going to get a new one from the computer shop I use. Hello, Gary Robinson. How do you do? Woody Black. They should have some animated flames and skulls. Oh, don't give them bloody ideas. Lisa got a Facebook. I got a Facebook warning for sharing that. It's that bit. The image I showed you, I put on there, and it was fact checked. I got a nasty, snotty message from Facebook. Yeah. Gary, of course, lives in Mexico, and he's probably laughing at us. Bernie Tucker says, as a child in North London about 1960, I remember tarmac melting in hot weather. Yeah, that's happened again. It does in very hot weather. A hot weather sheet has happened before, and I'm going to bring this up. Hot weather is nothing new. Now, this is a record-breaking temperatures we've had today. It's crossed 40 degrees. That's not been recorded before, to my knowledge, in this country. Mind you, accurate weather records only go back a short time. I think it's... Lisa says they hate you comparing it to 1976. Oh, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? But it was hot then, yeah. So hot weather does happen, and the temperatures, record temperatures have happened. However, temperatures a couple of degrees lower are quite common. And what's more, probably we had much higher ones in the past before the records began. Now, let me just show you the videos. I made a series of videos. Now, I was going to upload these actually to. I was going to turn them into an upload. I was going to actually put up an upload, but then I thought, no, I will actually simply show them to you on the live stream. So what I'll do is I'll show. So there are only a few minutes of these videos, but I'll just show them to you because I made them yesterday when I was like working in the Heatwave. So here we go. And they're not edited or anything. They're just sort of like rough cuts. So here's the first one. Oh, can you see that all right? You can. Great.
Hospital Reporter's Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Panwo TV. I was originally going to turn this into a video, but the battery's almost flat. What I'll do is I'll just do a little quick couple of shots and I'll add it into the to a live stream I'm planning. I'm on my way to work. It's about half past seven in the morning. The temperature is it really feels quite warm. The temperature is it's 25 degrees. It's 25 degrees already, which means it's already kind of the equivalent of a warm summer's British day. The temperature today is expected to soar to 41 degrees in some areas. That is breaking all heat records in this country by a huge margin. The news, it's all over the news right now. There's a lot of very frightening rhetoric in the media, newspaper headlines with words like meltdown, burning, killer, pictures of fire and fire motifs in the graphics, things like that.
I should point out there have been some deaths associated with this warm weather, as there is every summer when the weather gets warm. Some people drowned in a river because they were swimming. I think there were 4 of them. A guy died while he was sunbathing. He was just on the beach on a sun lounger, and people noticed he'd been lying still for a very long time. They went and checked him and found he was brown bread. Now, whether he died as a result of the heat wave or not, we don't know. We don't know what the cause of death was. But so technically, the word killer is not factually inaccurate, but it's no more a killer than hot weather can be at any time. People can die. The most common people can die of heat stroke, of course, and we'll come to that. You do need to take precautions against heat stroke, which is very easy to do. Any sensible adult can do it. There's no need to lock people in their homes and scare them half to death. But for example, if you go, accidents are quite common in hot weather, usually associated with water, because people want to go swimming. So I'll just continue now.
The Australians, I'm sure the Australians are laughing at us right now. I've been to Australia, and it's way hotter than that where I went, and it was like that every day, but for at least a week. We're fulfilling the stereotype of pommy wimps. I mean, the government now want to lock us in our homes today. They're saying kids stay, don't go to school, don't go to work unless it's essential. Don't walk your dogs. Well, my clients said they want me to walk their dogs, so there you go. If the dogs get too hot, I'll just bring them back early, But I've got to water a few people's gardens as well today, because of garden watering. There's no doubt there'll be a hosepipe ban before long. Hosepipe bans used to be very rare. There was one in the 76 drought. They're none at all. And like every single summer when it's hot for more than 5 days, you get a hosepipe ban. Of course, the climate change advocates, or man-made climate change advocates.
Well, I want to just pause now and address this point. Let me just go back. Hosepipe bans. There's been I've known dozens in the last 20 years or so of hosepipe bans. Now, they never used to happen. There's already a news story actually appeared today showing pictures of reservoirs that are almost dry. But why are the reservoirs dry? I mean, it's not. It was raining less than a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it's not been. We're not in a drought condition, even though it's very hot. It's not a drought. So why are the reservoirs dry? Is it really climate change? It's carbon emissions affecting the weather? Is it that, or is it instead? Or perhaps it is instead the fact that the government sold off all the water companies to cheap cowboys who then took all the money to China and started getting rid of all the flood defences and things like that. Is that the real reason that we've got a hosepipe ban? Oh no, we've got to blame climate change. Oh, I'll carry on now.
We'll say this is a product of climate change caused by carbon emissions. There's absolutely no doubt, actually, that it has got hotter here. Britain has become a hotter country in the last 40, 50 years. The question is it caused by carbon emissions, and it's just going to keep on getting hotter and hotter and hotter until Britain turns into Death Valley? Or is it part of the natural changes, as David Bellamy says, part of the natural changes that occur in climate all the time, and it won't last forever? In the end, it will give way in the same way that the medieval warm period gave way to the Little Ice Age. They'll have to cancel those carbon taxes then, and they can't take so much money off us, can they? And they can't control our lives as much. Oh dear. I think they'd be disappointed. Some people would be disappointed if Bellamy was proved right, wouldn't they? I mean, if a disappointing fact gets in the way of your agenda, you have two choices. You can shrug your shoulders, eat humble pie, and say, "Okay, we'll find another way to fleece people," or you can just lie and pretend it's not true. I wonder which one the government is going to choose. Anyway, guys, I'm the NHS. Oh God, the government going on about the bloody NHS. Just like I did in the lockdown. The NHS is going to struggle. The NHS never used to struggle. The NHS is infinitely adaptable. I was in it for 23 years. I saw how we had contingency plans for almost everything. If the aliens invaded, one of the few societies in one of the few institutions in the world that wouldn't really bat an eyelid would be the NHS. Yet now suddenly it's rigid, and it's like a house of cards. You blow on it and it just collapses. The NHS is going to cope. If there's so many people with COVID now, people are going to get heat stroke. Well, not if you take precautions. Firstly, we're adults, we're sensible. I'm going to drink plenty today. I'm going to take a long lunch break, go to a pub and have lots of drink. Non-alcoholic, of course. And of course, you remember this, don't you? From Hull, a person goes to OLM. I'm glad I kept it. This hat is going to be very useful today, I think. So, some of us, if they say, unless you have an essential job, don't work. Well, I have an essential job, so I'm working. And so I'm just going to do my duty as normal. And I will take the precautions I need to as a sensible adult. And really, I'll show you the map. I'll show you the weather map in a minute. The style of weather maps has totally changed. I think that's very significant. They've gone sort of cheery with pictures of suns on. So
I've just covered that.
Like pools of blood flowing across the country and things like that. I'll show you that in a minute.
I've done that.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Okay, thanks very much. I'll just go to check your comments. It helps to judge these comments every so often. So we have here. I want to say thanks to everyone who puts comments on here. Obviously, it'll be a boring live stream otherwise. Villanora 2022 Radiation Zone Mad Max lol. Well, funnily enough, Villon, I've actually called this particular video a Heatwave 2022 live stream because I've already done another live stream on Heatwave. It was back in 2018 when there was another Heatwave. Gary says, but I admit in the UK without aircon you're in trouble when it gets hot. Well, Gary, I think the problem is, we're not really, because it's exceptional, we don't really bother. Most people don't bother with air conditioning. It's the sort of thing that takes a lot of maintenance, it's expensive, and you only need it for a couple of weeks of the year. Yeah, that's right, And Greg H says tomorrow's weather report read by the Four Horsemen. That's right. And there's been a lot of. I saw some chemtrails today, actually. Yeah. Gary Robinson was born in the 1976 heatwave on the day it rained on the 12th of September. Oh, that's got to be very, very auspicious there, Gary. I bet your parents are proud of you for that. Taft Derek Baker says psyops. Correct, it was. Yes. Villanora. Oh, Stephen Truth equals 5. Oh, you do. I don't know how much you remember at 5 years old, Stephen. I don't. Villon said my toy soldier's melted. Karen Hansen. Hello, Ben. Take your hat off. Keep the heat on your head. Karen, I can't do that. If I took the hat off, my head would burn. My scalp would get. The sun would go to my scalp, and it's extremely painful. It's much worse than a sunburn anywhere else, and it wouldn't happen. You know, Karen, it wouldn't happen very. You know, you don't have to get a very bad sunburn actually up there for your follicles to weep, and it gets very, very sore indeed. Okay. What are you gonna do? Where am I? I'm just looking about. Where was Karen? Hang on. Take your hat off. Right. Yeah. Villanora says loving it. Yeah. Martin Taylor, has an election map been used by mistake? The hat, nice hat, Ben says Lisa. It's actually I knew I'd have to keep that. And Crafty says if he takes his hat off, we'll all be blinded. Right. Shut your eyes, everyone. The David Jones look, yes, without the voice and the sunglasses and the mask, yeah. Steve says, Ben, they say as long as records say, but they only started recording temperatures less than the second ago in the past of the Earth's existence. Correct, Steve, yeah. In fact, accurate weather records only sort of began, I think, was it sometime in the 19th century? I know there was a very hot day in 1805, and the Met Office doesn't have records for it. Karen Hansen, plenty of iced water. Yes, that does the thing. Glenn Rocks, it's summer for fuck's sake. The weather is the warmest at this time of year, and people moan when it's too hot. Oh yeah, especially in Britain. I just have to skip a couple of these. Sorry about that. Lisa says she's going to buy a black Stetson. Oh my goodness me! Don't forget the pistol belt as well. Yeah. People are talking about Tenko. That was a series. I remember that was a TV series from World War II. Yeah. Crafty says, Ben, we're going to speak to Nick about meeting up. Are you still up for it? Yes, I am. We'll have to arrange a time, Crafty. I'm not going away now, I think, until... I'm going away in August. I'll let you know, and I'm going away in September to speak. There we go. Lisa. Oh, Lisa, you've been picking up the rubbish. Well done, Lisa. Karen says, I'm in Corfu. It's 35. We have aircon and tight clothing and no news scaring us to death. That's right, yeah. That's it. But we'll adapt. See, people will adapt. If people in different geographical locations adapt to the climate, and we in Britain can adapt as well quite easily. Bernie Tuck says, Ben, what next? We haven't been threatened with the dreaded acid rain to keep us prisoners in our home. Bernie, don't give them ideas. Karen doesn't watch TV. Well done, Karen. You know, Karen, it's so bloody depressing and confusing. Lisa's the National Harm Service. Yeah, that's right. You know, it's if they weren't messing, they've messed around it for decades. It's gone downhill, and they won't allow, as you know, they won't allow certain treatments which work and things like that. Lisa, God knows what effect the heat has on graphene oxide. I don't like to think. David Keith thinks Extinction Rebellion might have been playing with matches. Yeah, I have a feeling. I don't know, those fires seem a little bit too... I don't know. I'm sure people will find these fires are very useful for... Of course, they can start by accident, but they're very useful for people who want to make a point, especially when really things aren't that dry. I mean, I don't know why we're having fires now. Why are we having fires now? When we have had fires in the past, but usually only after several weeks of very dry hot weather. It's not been that dry. I mean, there's greenery in some of the lawns. Even the ones I haven't been watering have some greenery on them. I mean, you know, there's been. We're not in drought conditions. Martin Taylor, Ben, you only need some corks on the string around the brim. Then I'd really look Australian, wouldn't I? Oh, Rhiannon says, I think Karen means take it off when you're inside. I always do, Rhiannon, except when I'm in disguise at a conference in Hull. Hello, David Splendid Isolation. How are you? Rhiannon, I'm sorry the weather makes you feel ill. I mean, it's not going to last much longer for this particular heat wave. Hello, Graham. How are you? Oh, Graham says thanks for everything. You're welcome, Graham. I'm glad you like them. Thanks, Graham. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you like the reply videos. Yeah, it's Terry Joyce, not my rabbit hole with Terry Joyce. How are you doing? We have a comet approaching the Earth today. Yes, we do, Terry. I'm going to cover that in my space weather report on Thursday, and there's several people saying it's going to hit the Earth. It's not going to hit the Earth, but it will come quite close, and you should be able to see it in certain locations. It'll be quite spectacular. Barry Fridge, hey Ben, where can I join your Discord server? Alright, Barry, go to Hapanwo Radio, and you'll see the link in the notice I've just put up. Hope you're doing alright, Terry. I really like your picture. I really do. It's very nice. Oh, Crafty, you've been at the Glastonbury Symposium. You're going to it? Of course, end of July, isn't it? Oh, I'd like to go about that, yeah. Lisa thinks the fires were orchestrated. They may well be. Yeah, they may well be. Rick Horton, has NASA showed an interest in landing on your head? No, but some polar bears were crawling up there earlier. There we are. Stephen says it's been a dry winter and a dry spring. Not where I am, Stephen. Not especially. Karen Hansen says, thanks Ben, love your channel. Oh, thank you, Karen, you're very welcome, glad you do. I'm glad you're alright, Terry. I'm glad you're okay. I've got to catch up on your channel. Crafty Nihilist says we're getting some passive aggressive rain next week. I don't know what sort of rain it will be. If Slaxer starts complaining about it, then we know it's passive aggressive. Let me show you the next instalment in my video series. There we go. This is a bit shorter, I think.
Okay guys, the time is about 11:30 now. It's really hot. It's not even the hottest part of the day yet, but it already feels intensely warm here. I've got a couple more jobs to do, but one of them's been changed already. I've got to take a dog to somebody's garden instead of walking them out on the street, so it'll be an easier job, and I've got to do some shopping for somebody. But apart from that, I'm working as normal. I am actually pretty thirsty now. I had a big glass of water before I went out. I haven't drunk anything since, which I should have done. But I'm actually going to go to the William Morris, the Wetherspoons in County Centre. I'm going to have a couple of really big soft drinks, and then just spend about an hour there before I have to go back to work. I'm very glad I hung on to this sun hat. I really am. It's been very, very useful indeed. Okay, so right, let's see what it feels like when it gets really hot here.
Okay, guys, I'll just go back to your messages. Comet K2, that's right, yes. Hello, James Hilton. You're dreaming. Wake up. All right. Green Sky 17. Just watched the BBC, and already they're blaming Trump and the Republicans for this. Oh, they blame Trump for everything, man. If a species of beetle goes extinct on the Solomon Islands, it's Trump and Brexit's fault. Yeah. It's Comet K2. It's going to be quite spectacular. That is. Yeah. I want to look at it actually. I'll just find out a bit of detail. Sorry, go off topic a minute. I'm just looking at Comet K2. There's a big mountain called K2. It's the second biggest mountain in the world. Comet C27 K2. Yeah. How big is Comet K2? It's been it could be 80 to 100 miles across. After its close approach to the Earth. Oh my goodness. It's going to go to the Sun next. Yeah, comets. Yes, it's an Oort cloud comet with a inbound hyperbolic orbit. Yes, it's actually going to. So yeah, there's some good pictures of it. You should be able to see some good pictures of it at some point. and you could check on an astronomy website, or even the news will tell you exactly where it's going to be, and you can have a good look at it. It's Ben. It's just summer, lol. It is just summer. At the end of the day, it is just summer. Yeah, it is. Lisa says, on a positive note, I feel last 3 days for a reason to show stuff. Mainstream fear-mongering, if doubt else. But so much going on, I feel. Time will tell. There's been a huge amount of fear-mongering over this, yeah. Dark Corners, has anyone checked to see if Dr. Brian Cox is okay in this heat? I hope he melts. I really do. He probably... Karen, love the sun hat, Karen. Well, Karen, watch my. If you haven't watched it yet, Karen, watch my video called "A Person Goes to OLM." I did have some ice lollies, Diego Rivera. Yes. Oh, thanks, Bernie. Bernie says, I can't believe how many brilliant videos you make. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like them, Bernie. Much appreciated. Hello, No One's Flower. James Hilton. It's harp. We're going to come on to that, James. We are going to come on to that. Okay, so we'll go on to the next part of my video now. My little video series. It's number 3. There are 5 of these.
Okay, guys, I've just left the Wetherspoons. I was actually with the William Morris Wetherspoons. You can just see it behind me. I've just spent lunchtime there. I met up with some old people, some friends.
I spent lunchtime there as well. I should point out that before I went there, I didn't mention this in the video, but my daughter texted me about an hour earlier and said, could you please go and check up on my mum? Now, my ex-partner, her mother, lives not far from me, actually, and it's quite close to where I was working at that time. And so I did pop round and see her. She lives with her brother in a flat, and I just popped round to see how they were. And she was okay, but I was actually getting pretty hot and thirsty by then, and I realised I should have had something to drink earlier on.
She's some friends from the John Radcliffe, a porter and a civilian. The civilian actually is a guy who was a steward at the social club, and there's a guy who's a porter there. He's still a porter now. It's baking. It's absolutely baking. When you go into the sun, it's now almost 2 p.m. Yeah, I know. I got a feeling, I had a bit longer for lunch than I expected. But it's absolutely, when I go out like in the sun, it literally, I think the last time I felt it this hot was actually in the Australian desert.
It was actually slightly hotter today as well. This was filmed yesterday. It was about a degree hotter today.
In 2000, when I went to Australia, I went to the desert. I was actually not far from Pine Gap. I actually saw Pine Gap from a coach, a lovely air-conditioned coach. It was very nice. But yeah, when you get out into the hot weather like we got now, this is what Oxford looks like in the weather. It doesn't look see, you can't actually tell by looking that it's actually any hotter than normal. Everything looks pretty normal, but it's absolutely baking. I can just feel like the hot air on me.
One thing I should point out is the news is full of really sad articles about dying hedgehogs and things like that. From what I can gather, the natural world seemed to cope with this completely normally, take it in its stride. Birds were still flying. I saw some, I saw a mouse and things like that. They seem to be taking it in their stride. The animals know what to do. They know how to stay in the shade. If one water source disappears, they know where to find another. As I said, we're not in. Despite the temperature, it's important to realise there are no drought conditions here in England. Certainly in my area, there are no drought conditions. I haven't heard any news stories of drought conditions being imposed. So again, I think that's probably more manipulation and scaremongering.
I feel the sun on me. I've had a message from my client. I've got 2 things to do this afternoon. I'm going to walk. I've got to take it now. Normally, I've got to take a dog for a walk. Which normally the dog gets an hour and a half's walk. She's a border collie and full of energy. They could like walk for England border collies. But I've said to her, look, can you bring her around to my friend's garden instead? One of her friends has got a lovely garden where this dog can play around, and we can put the hose pipe on her and stuff like that. But the news actually says, don't walk your dogs on the streets today. It's just too hot. So I've got to go and pick the dog up from the owner, who's
Okay, I'm just going to skip
he's
that
a sweet.
bit.
He's
Just gonna skip
they'll
that bit.
they'll feel at home in this weather. Those guys will feel at home in.
So I would have edited this out anyway. It's just a bit of personal stuff.
Take her to the close friend house, and I've got a feeling once I'm there, you know, the friend only lives like this lady.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to ask you to pay me for this, is
No,
it?
so I'll move.
So I said, look, you don't have to pay me for this,
Okay.
because it's like you say, it's 200 yards away. I have to do that, but Cowley Road Tesco's is open.
I'll go back.
Then I've got to go and get some shopping for this old lady. I have to do that. But Cowley Road Tesco's is open again. She lives in St Clements. If you know Oxford, you'll know what I'm talking about here. But St Clements is an area to the east of the city, and this Cowley Road sort of like runs through it. I made a video about Cowley Road once. Cowley Road is actually world famous. It's kind of Oxford Bohemian quarter. But they had like a big Tesco superstore, which was shut down, closed for refurbishment. It's just reopened, so I could, because I was using the one on the bypass. Do you remember my missing time video? Do you remember that? Yeah, that's so I can go to that one instead, which is a lot easier. I have actually been using that since it reopened. But this is, you know, I think it looks. The sky's a little bit hazy. The sun is absolutely blazing down on me. It's going to be like this tomorrow as well, and I'll do the live stream tomorrow. It's, yeah. But the government want to lock us in our homes. Yep. No wonder the Australians are laughing at us. Pommy wimps. Yeah, we do
I made that joke already. Oh, see, it's not edited. It's just a rough
fulfil
cut.
the stereotype a bit, don't we? Well, it's not my choice. I mean, I feel fine. I've drunk plenty. I've had like 4 glasses of like orange cordial, so I'm well and truly hydrated up. So I'll be fine. Okay, guys. So I'm heading down for work, and I think I'll do a bit more when I'm on my way home.
Right, guys. So that's part. There's a couple more bits. I'll just go to your comments. Now, Lisa, I'm not such a. I know you love this. I mean, Lisa, I don't enjoy the hot weather as much as you do. I realise that it is. I don't. You know, I do realise this is nothing to be scared of, but I don't enjoy it the way you do. I must say, I don't enjoy it the way you do. Where are we now? Okay. Cleon Jones says Brian Cox is probably plugged into a solar farm and recharging. Steve071, the heat today reminded me of a comment an American made to me when I was in Las Vegas. You think this is hot? Wait till it hits 100 degrees. It happens. Yeah, other people cope with it. Hello, Sonara's Astri. How you doing? Yeah, no problem, Sonara. It's great to see you again. How you doing? Hope everything's okay. Cornwall, of course, is a very warm place generally, and you know, it's. I mean, I don't know what it's been like there with you, but I hope you've been all right there. Hope you really have. Karen Hansen, I love your interview with Rex Bear. Which was that? Rex Bear. I can't remember. Oh, Kraft says you are the party. Sonara, that's great. Yeah, Lisa says I stayed at the Weatherspoons in Salisbury with Rhiannon. Yes, it was great. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, it was a fantastic place. It was nice. It was, you know, you got to get your breakfast separately, but it's a bloody nice room we got. It really is nice. Yeah, I love Weatherspoons, Lisa. I was reading their in-house magazine during my lunch break, and I'll tell you what, they got pages on like the lockdown. It's like reading The Light. It's so based. Boghammer, check your email. I will do later. Yeah, I will do later. Barry Fridge, you didn't put the link to the Discord server. No, hang on. All right, Barry, I can't sort this out right now. I'm sorry. I didn't put the link to the Discord server. You put the link to the Discord itself. All right, I've got to send an invite. All right. Could you? On what are you doing Thursday evening? You doing anything? If you're doing anything 8 p.m. Thursday evening, if you come onto the live stream, if you come onto the live chat on my Panro Radio, I'll sort you out then. Crafty, any news on Charles? Now Charles has gone. Maybe Terry's heard more from him. As far as I know, he's just. As I've got nothing to add to what I told you earlier, that he's he has actually decided to take time out of the internet. Sinara, I went for a swim in the sea. Oh, beautiful. Cornwall's such a lovely place to go swimming. Yeah, it really is. I'll skip a few of these comments. Yeah, Lisa, I've got my big work boots on, but the pavement gets really hot. This is why I did test it today, and we decided to cancel the dog walk. And I didn't even take her to the garden this time. And of course they have this fur coat which they can't take off. Yeah. Might go up a little bit. Gary Gamers, what's this here? Oh, I've got to go up a bit further. Gary Garner's Goy Pride. I love the sun, but hate in bed. Natural heat, but hate it's. Yes, it's. I did put the fan on myself when I was sleeping last night. I've got a fan. The one I've got here now. I put it by my bed, and that was fine. Rick says leave some water out for the hedgehogs. You can do, yeah. I mean, hedgehogs can. Hedgehogs will be able to find water of their own, but if you want to help them, I'm sure that's really lovely. Yeah, hedgehogs are actually in urban areas are actually endangered, so you will be helping them there. Gary Garner's going to report my Pommy Wimps as hate speech. Well, you have to report the entire nation of Australia then. Rihanna leaves water out for hedgehogs too. That's lovely. Hello, Yarlandsay. How you doing? Working as a domestic cleaner. Yeah, I bet that's hard work, isn't it? Yeah, aye, it did. Hello, Peter Birdsall. How you doing? Oh, we got more. Bloody. Oh, hang on. Let me just put this person on. Remove. Hang on. There we go. And here, remove. It's just a spammer. Don't be you a silly spammer. Remove. Lisa says it depends on the situations. If you have to work in a crap place, you're going to feel it. Get it? Yeah. It was actually quite difficult working when weather got hot in the hospital. Nothing was air conditioned apart from the manager's offices, and it used to get very, very hot there. Yeah. Skip a few comments. Sorry, guys. Hello, Donna Wellham. How's you doing? You have to catch up this early in the morning. You offer a day out at Boscastle and Tintagel. Nice. Have a good time. Sonara will tell you about that. Oh, English. Diego Vera has to bring up the English Bigfoot, doesn't he? I think the English Bigfoot is probably can easily sort this sort of out. How do I get rid of this bloody spam? Hang on. Remove. I'll just put this person on timeout again. Timeout. There we go. Now they won't post any more shit. Just ignore them, guys. Okay, okay, hang on. Right. Okay, let's go to part 3 of my video. So here we go. I've got a bit of a cold actually.
Okay guys, here's the current temperature, 36 degrees.
See that, yeah.
Sunny, 37 degrees. And as you can see, it's due to stay hot. In fact, it will get even hotter from 3 p.m. It's 37 degrees at 3 p.m. And even at 6 p.m. it's going to be 36 degrees. And as you see, tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same or even hotter. 20% chance of 38 degree temperatures. Now, strangely enough, on Wednesday, it very suddenly ends. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's a decision made at the headquarters of HARP. But then, for the rest of the week, actually, it returns pretty much to normal. We'll see how that goes. But, it's not actually at the Big 4-0 yet here in Oxford, but it may well in some parts of the country. Probably in inner London, I imagine it will, because it's always hotter in London. There you go.
Okay, guys, that's sorted. So, let's go for your comments here. Lisa's been watching geese in the park. Nice. John Nolan, Ben, did you talk to Michael about the Germans at the conference? Oh, Michael Shrimpton, I didn't actually. I didn't get the chance to speak to him, unfortunately. Just ignore the spammer, guys. The Cockmeister. You've got a fan going in that room, Ben. Yes. Or are you lucky enough to have air conditioning? It's hot as fuck here in Cheshire still this evening. No aircon, Cockmeister. Just a fan. That does the job, actually. Tony Phillips. I drive a high-level order picker to work. And it's unbearable when you just under the roof of the warehouse and the heat rises. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I am, yeah. Most workplaces, in like most homes, they're not geared towards this sort of thing. Yarlan said, my car said it got up to 40 today. Was expecting a fanfare of trumpets, but nothing. Ugh. You should watch the news, mate. They're hardly talking about anything else. David says they're taking these readouts at airports, bumping up the rating. Ah, right. So you see, they can manipulate the figures, can't they? Yeah, I remember the last time there was a record temperature. It was actually crossed 100 Fahrenheit. That was at Heathrow Airport. Yeah. Diego, you really suffered for us, Ben. I wasn't that bad. Steve, Capel Green. Oh, no comment. And Stephen says, yeah, it's going to be 15 degrees cooler overnight. That's quite. I'll be looking forward to that. Actually, I'm quite glad about that. I'm not like Lisa. I'm not like a salamander like she is. I understand that it's not like a big thing to be terrified of and moan about, but it's actually like Rhiannon. I find it difficult to cope with when it gets really hot. So, guys, I've got one last video here in this series, and then those videos will be over, and I'll go to your notice comments. So here we go. Right, let's just go to there. Okay, so display capture. Okay, so last one here.
Okay, guys, mission accomplished. It's about 4:30 now, and I finished for the day. I did my bit of shopping. The dog job was very easy. Like I said, we just went to this lady's house. We played with the dog in the garden for an hour and a half. It was very sweet. I understand, I do understand actually the concern, even though, I stand by what I said about the NHS and things like that earlier, but I understand the concern for some people, that because we're not used to this sort of weather here. I do understand that now, I think, a bit better, and that it is not all hype. There is an element of caution that you need to bear in mind. So it's as simple, just drink plenty, stay in the shade, don't make unnecessary journeys. I understand that, because maybe in Australia they can they're more used to this sort of thing. In hot countries they have things like air conditioning. The whole infrastructure is built around that climate. What we have here is freak weather. So I do understand that entirely. Now, but in the meantime, I don't think I've been in any danger. I don't think I've been in any danger today. Sure, it's been an easier day than normal. But if it hadn't been, I would have been okay too. I just drunk more, and eventually, I just get through to the end of the day like I have now. So I finished that shopping for that lady, and now it's time to head home. So I'm not going to upload this as a video. I was going to edit this together and put some titles on it and make it an upload. No, it's not going to be an upload. I'll just simply play this on screen capture during the live stream.
Which I am.
And the video's just not long enough for that, I don't think. That's day one of this heatwave. I probably won't film tomorrow. I don't see much point. I'm not sure there's anything I could say on tomorrow that I haven't said today, because tomorrow, as from what I can see now, looks like it's going to be a repeat of the day in terms of weather, and indeed my jobs, my work. So thanks all for watching, and I'll return you now to myself on the live stream.
Okay, guys, that was it. That's the videos I made. I'm now going to go I'll check your comments again. Here we go. So let's have a look. Yeah, the idea of them manipulating figures is I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah. Yarlan Zay, Ben, I'm saving electricity by keeping the TV off. Right, Yarlan. Unfortunately, the TV doesn't actually use a lot of electricity, but what you are doing by keeping it off is saving yourself a lot of bloody stress and aggravation and bullshit being fed to you. Yeah. Greg H. Tomorrow cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Oh, right. Well, if you're lucky, Greg, your wife will cook them for you. Stephen, what about hedgehog crips? I don't know what that is, Stephen. Sorry. And Yarlan says we've only been recording weather data for the last 150 to 200 years. Yeah, the 1805 heatwave was not recorded in by the Met Office. That apparently it was called Hot Sunday or something, where the temperature was like similar to today. That was over 200 years ago, in pre-industrial times. Yeah. Lisa says, I thrive in the heat, being out there with nature. It's about climatisation. You must have got used to it, Lisa. Oh, yeah. I get it. Major point is never believe the government gives a fuck about you. Now else, I guess. Absolutely. Of course, they're not concerned. I don't care if someone dies while they're sunbathing. If indeed it could be the heat didn't kill him, and he might have had a heart attack or something. We don't know. Hugo's on his third spliff. Oh, right. Blimey. Yeah. And 2 beers as well. Right. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Hugo. David says either that or atomic tests have shifted the Earth from its orbit and we're heading towards the sun. You've been watching that film, David, isn't it? It's that film, The Day the Earth Caught Fire. Have you seen it? That's very good. That's a really good film. It's got great script, very well written. It's quite old. I think it's a 1950s movie, black and white. Very good indeed, though. Yeah. Tony Phillips, Ben, do you have any tips on being made homeless? My landlord just gave me 2 months' notice after paying his mortgage for 13 years. Just what you need when you are in the housing crisis. Oh, Tony, that did happen to me once, and I found a location. It was actually in 2011 where I found my current location. So, 2 months is. I don't know if it's in your tenancy agreement that he can give you such short notice. I mean, mine was 3 months, but just have a look around, see if you can find somewhere else. I'm sorry, I can't give you any more advice than that. Yeah, Yarlan Zay has got some ciders cooling in the fridge. Yes. Rhiannon says here, other people don't thrive in the heat. Some have health conditions. Some people have jobs. Disconnected. Reconnection. Did I go quiet there? Yeah. It just said I got disconnected. Am I reconnected now? Alright. But maybe some people, Rhiannon, I mean, I think you do get used to it if you're in it all the time. But other people, some people naturally feel comfortable in hot weather and others don't. And I'm one of the ones that don't, like you. And Cosmic Claire, hello Claire, how you doing? We had a heat wave when I was 18, only 4 years like this one in 18, only 4 years ago. We did, Claire, yes. In fact, I did a video about it. This is why I'm calling this particular video Heatwave 2022 live stream. So it's not kind of like, what's the word? It's not confused. Okay. Claire says the 1805 heatwave was caused by all those charcoal burners. Claire, yeah, it was the turbocharged hand carts, yeah. Okay, Steve071, has the ice cream van been round tonight, Ben? He comes down my street every night about 7. He doesn't come to our street because there's no. I haven't seen any children in our street. I don't think any children live on our street. But I did see the ice cream van out and about, and I did buy a cone off him this afternoon. I bought a cone off him, and they're doing a roaring trade. I said to him, "Is his business good?" He says, "I can't keep up with it." He says, "The thing about it is, like, I can't, like," he says, I haven't stopped for 2 days, and of course, he gets a lull. I mean, he gets plenty of lulls in business as well, so I'm sure it's as broad as it's long. But I did buy a cone from the ice cream van. Hello, Della Farron, how you doing? Della's depressed. Did you say? Oh, I'll just crawl back now. Oh man, where are we? I wish it wouldn't flip down like that. Hatchy, Ben, me and the dog is in the room. Oh, hello, Hatchy's dog and Hatchy. Where are we now? Where's Della? Where's Della? Oh, hang on. Della, I'm so depressed. Glad you're alive. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear you're feeling depressed, Della. I really am. Jeff said, "You want to try living on Venus?" Yeah, it's hot enough to melt lead there, isn't it? And it's so the pressure's so high, it's like being 3,000 feet underwater. But you could float on giant balloons in the atmosphere. I covered that, didn't I? I wrote an article about that, and I covered it in a video. Sunflower Express on the TV. All the climate change pundits are saying that. Oh yeah, shocked by the way. I'm going to come on to that in a minute, actually, guys. I'm just going through your comments. I'll go then to the live stream notice. Right, I lost connections for a few seconds. Right, I'm back now. I'm glad I'm back now. It could have been my router or something like that. I don't know. I'm glad it reconnected automatically. It's too hot. Ledella, like, it's too hot. Yeah. Okay, so Jake Yorkman, hello. Claire says, it's just a whisker of 40 degrees under my veranda view. Yes. Social dilemma. Hey Trevor, how you doing, mate? Pride and dignity, brother Porter. Spending an afternoon in the pool. It's 31 degrees. Having an afternoon at the pool. I'm glad, Trevor. I am. Yeah, it's summer in Canada too. Tony Phillips, I had a cool bath. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did. Hello, Nihilist Lives Matter. Yeah, okay, guys. I'm going to go to the live. I'm just going to go to check the comments. I'm not on screen share, am I? Okay, I'm just going to go to check the. I'm just going to liberate anything in the spam box, and I'll go through your notice comments. Alright, okay, so it won't be a sec. Held for review. Nothing held for review. Good. Okay, so I'm going to go to notice of upcoming live stream. Right, here we go. Come on. Right. Let's just go to. Right, notice of upcoming live stream. I've had these things here. Alright, here we go. Jamnoy72. Hello, soul sister. How you doing? We've had heat waves before, bro. Nothing new under the sun. Haha. I see what I did there. Sat under the sun. Yeah, very good. David Smith said, "Yes, I remember it being 40 degrees when I were a lad." All right. David is being sarcastic as usual. It may well have been 40 degrees, but it wasn't recorded, David. It could be that methods have improved. It could also be that the figures might have been massaged slightly, because, of course, it's in the interest for political reasons that we believe that we get scared of hot weather. Diego Rivera says, "I'll be there getting the ice lollies ready." Yeah. Patrick Patel says, "Looking forward to it." Dark Corners, I look forward to it. Thanks, Dark Corners. I know you're there. Diego Rivera and Dark Corners are there. Richard on Solent says, "Looks interesting." Hey Richard, well, come and join us, mate. Come and join us. Vagabond Heart XX gives me a love heart. That's nice. Hugo Rune says, "I'm determined not to be late for this one." And you weren't, Hugo. You'd only had 2 spliffs at the start, which is why you got here on time. And Jamnoy72 says, "Skin up early and be prepared." Hugo says, "Already done. 22 king size in my tin." Jamnoy, wow, 22. I'm coming round to yours later. Hugo, you're welcome. I've someone with a Russian name here. Andresh Mushkia. I can actually read a bit of Mushkin. I can actually read a bit of Russian because I'm learning Russian at the moment. And it's a German spammer. Bugger off, spammer. Blue Bean. Hey, Colin, how you doing? Are you bad enough for the Tories, Ben? Oh, lol. Very good. She's just been kicked out, hasn't she? Bad knock. Yeah. They kicked out. They have to kick out like the Trumpians and people like that, and they have to leave behind the boring establishment centrists, of course. You know, I wrote an article about that today. Marley Pumpkin, make sure you make no videos to get terminated from YouTube. Why not make another UFO video or one about Sue Staines, your girlfriend from 25 years? Oh, shut up, you twat! Shut up, you knobhead! Alright, I won't bother deleting your comment because I'm going to delete the video later. Nihilist Lives Matter. For some reason, Nihilist Lives Matter. I had to approve that comment. I don't know why that was. anyway, we have here less than average says I'm sweating my bollocks off. All right then. Oh dear, well. Hopefully it doesn't. It's you don't. That's bad. You don't want to lose your bollocks because it's hot. Jake Yorkman says, Ben, is Jane the woman that showed you around York? Jane. No, they got a similar voice. That's Lily. No, that's a different person. But they do have a similar voice. Yes, they're both very well spoken. Nihilist Lysomatic. It's so hot in my sack. I'm sticking to my thigh. Stephen, is anyone here good at cooking? I can cook for myself. Lisa says, recorded, yes, the weather records. Recorded by whom? It's all agenda. Yeah, exactly. Lisa, I'm suspicious of everything that comes out of these. I mean, look at the rhetoric with that map, the map I showed you. And there's more coming up. I'll be coming into more about that soon. Lisa says, proof the weather was controlled for 3 days. Back to 80. Yeah, it's ended very abruptly, hasn't it? It's going to end very abruptly sometime overnight. Della Farron says, Ben, I might have to come to Oxford on a mini holiday for some Ben therapy. Let me know when you're coming, Della. I'll be happy to show you around Oxford. Where are we now? Right, where are we going? Okay. And Lisa says, David says, extreme temperatures have happened throughout history. It doesn't have to be anything nefarious. David, in my view, there are other reasons to think there's something nefarious going on. Hello, Jeff Moss. How you doing? Where we go. Jake says, was going to say, Ben, as during your recent video, Jane asked who you were filming for. I would have thought she would have known what you do. Oh, did she? Oh, I explained to her what I was doing. Yeah, she was just a lady. She was Jane Shattuck. It's Miles's the person who speaks at Miles's conference. She didn't actually speak at this one, Jane, but she has spoken at past ones. Social dilemma. Do you guys in Britain have air conditioning? Very few social dilemma. I mean, the Weatherspoons was air conditioning, which is why I spent my lunchtime in there. We don't really need it much, you see. It's something most people don't bother with. It costs a lot of money to put in, and it's something you only have to run for a couple of weeks of the year at most. And when it's switched off, it has maintenance problems. You can get Legionella in it and things like that. It's a health hazard, things like that. So. No, unfortunately, very few of us, as Rialan said, very few people have air conditioning. I'll tell you what, it's actually, you can hire a unit, you can hire aircon units, portable aircon units, and they're doing a roaring trade at the moment, actually. I remember during the 2018 heatwave, some pubs had like little portable ones. But, it's... I think if it could be that if this trend of warm weather continues, more and more people in Britain will use aircon. Yeah, it depends. Glenn Rock says people could learn a lot by listening to the alien interview. I know you know about. Do you mean the one with the nurse, or do you mean the one about the little alien sitting in the dark room, which Victor Nevada talks about? Right, no rain or storms in Nottinghamshire, says Hugo. Right, okay, so. What I'm going to do now, let me just go to my notes, just check my notes a minute. Hang on, where are we? Okay. Now, done that. Pre-heatwave live stream. Previous, alright, I've put that in there, yeah. Okay, so, let me just show you, like, if you Google, like, I Googled earlier on, what caused the heat wave, and I gave a description of it. It's caused literally by high pressure air, and which is the locations of various high pressure zones is dictated by the wind patterns in the global wind patterns, and they happen to have moved much further north than they normally do. We're getting basically the kind of hot air that normally is found over the Mediterranean and North Africa. But if I Google what caused the UK heat wave, and you get to the BBC, right? The BBC have a UK heatwave. Why is it so hot? I don't have to show you this, do I? In screen capture, come on, open up. And how the page is not opening. Okay, I'll go to your comment while the browser decides to make up its mind. Yeah, Nurse McElroy. That's it, right, Jen? Thank you very much. I will. Is it opening yet? It is right, Glenn. It is the one about the nurse. Yes, Nurse McElroy, who was actually in Roswell at that time. That's very interesting, that, yeah. Trevor is feeling a bit cold because of this air conditioning. Turn it down, mate, turn it down. You can always send it over to me, or send it to Rhiannon. Definitely. Yeah, the jet stream moved up, says Greg. Yeah, that's it. High pressure over Morecambe Bay, says Claire. Rick Gordon. Strawberries and ice cream are the answers. Absolutely, yes. Okay, guys. The UK heatwave. Why is it so hot? Why are we seeing such brutal temperatures? Most climate scientists say the answer is climate change. All right. What they're basically claiming is that... I'll just show you the... let me just show you the image. The claim, of course, is that this is all caused by human activity. It's all our fault. It's our fault this is happening. If we weren't an industrial civilization which actually made things and built things and had technology, none of this would have happened. And they've got what's more, they've got the data to prove it. Apparently, have a look at this. This is a chart, apparently, of temperatures. This is temperatures for the last 1,000 years, global temperatures. So you have here, basically, you have this enormous. See the red line. Look how scary that big red line is. Oh yeah. Ooh. It sort of starts around in early 19th century. There's this red line. It goes up like that, up, and there it is. It ends just after 2000. There's the present day. It's right up here. It's right up here, 0.4 degrees above whatever this datum is here. So this is what they say. What they say basically is everyone was ticking along quite nicely in the medieval times. Playing with dolphins and rolling in the clover. And absolutely everything was fine. We lived in some kind of idyllic life. And then suddenly, nasty old Western white male imperialists came along and started industry and started releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Yes, this toxic gas, which actually is actually a natural component of the atmosphere anyway. It only constitutes, I think, it's 0.03% of the Earth's atmosphere is carbon dioxide. Yet it's absolutely essential. Carbon dioxide is absolutely essential for life. Without it, everything would die. It's part of the oxygen cycle, which allows plants to photosynthesize and therefore produce oxygen for animals to breathe. It's a balance of nature which is absolutely essential for life on Earth. We drop dead if carbon dioxide ever disappeared, or if it ever dropped below a certain level, we'd die. All animal life would die, and then all plant life would die because we wouldn't be contributing any more carbon dioxide to the environment. Now, and the climate scientists will then say, yes, but you see, there's excessive carbon dioxide. It's gone from not. See, you can see here. It's gone from. I don't know exactly what this says. Temperature anomaly here on this axis, and then there's time on the axis at the bottom. I don't know what the green axis. I don't really know what that means. But carbon dioxide has gone from 0.03% to 0.04%. And as a result, it's generated heat, and because they cite the greenhouse effect, the carbon dioxide actually absorbs heat, and they say Venus, the planet Venus. Someone mentioned Venus in the chat earlier. The planet Venus is consists of an atmosphere, a very thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide, and one of the reasons it's so hot down there. It's the hottest place in the solar system, apart from the sun. The reason is because of the very thick carbon dioxide atmosphere. And they say, well, look, Earth's going to get an atmosphere like Venus. Well, Earth's got a very long way to have any kind of atmosphere like Venus. Firstly, it's 1,000 times less dense, and it has several million times less carbon dioxide in it. So the whatever greenhouse effect is causing Venus to become a hothouse, it's actually quite implausible that it's having that kind of effect on Earth, as David Bellamy quite rightly points out. Now, the goal, right, is to stop this from happening. What's going to happen is this red line is going to keep going up and up and up until we all turn into well-done sirloin, probably before the end of the century. And I don't know if you've seen that film. That film. Let me just show you. I'll just see if it's around. Hang on a sec. The Age of Stupid. Have anyone seen The Age of Stupid? I'm gonna have to miss some of your comments. I'm sorry. Is it on YouTube still? The Age of Stupid. This is like, I might have shown this in the. I only put in the age and it comes up immediately. The Age of Stupid. It's top question. It's a top response. Here we go. The Age of Stupid. Oh, you got to buy it. Ooh. You got to buy The Age of Stupid. Oh, I'll mind you, it used to be free. Oh, I'll just show the trailer, shall I? It used to be free. It used to be a freebie on YouTube. I'll just show you. I'll probably get a third-party strike for this. I don't care. Here we go. Oh, fucking ads. All right. I have actually watched this film. I've watched it. Here we go.
It's like looking through binoculars, observing people on a far-off beach, running around in circles, fixated on the small area of sand under their feet as a tsunami races towards the shore.
101 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the hottest day ever recorded.
Of course,
Did
worried
you see
about
that
global
there?
warming. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean.
There we go. Look, that's
Absolutely.
where was it? Here we go.
Worried about
We show that
global
bit
warming.
again. That's London flooded. See, there's the Millennium Dome, and there's the East End of skyscrapers all underwater because of the rising sea levels.
Of course, worried about global warming. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean.
It's not called global warming anymore. It's called climate change, PTM.
Well, the protest balloon is now going up phone box.
The question I've been asking is, why didn't we save ourselves when we had the chance?
Evacuate! Evacuate! Evacuate!
How many people can afford a 1 rupee fare? I would imagine every single Indian can.
You're suspended. You're suspended. Both of you come to my office right now.
Losing everything you have, it's so overwhelming.
I'll scroll forward a bit there.
Professional.
Hope you do.
Alright. There's some very scary Age of Stupid. Let's just see. Let's have a look at the beginning. Because I want to show you like the opening scene. Watch online. Oh, we go trailer. And premiere. They had a massive premiere for it. Look, here we go. Trailer. Is this it? Is this the one? Yeah, here it is. Look at this. I wanted to show you like the.
And away you go.
I don't think you could see it actually. I wanted to show you the scenes of the devastated world. As you could see, like all kinds of horrible images of flooded cities and things like that. And it's, you see, I'm not a. I mean, I know this is propaganda. Oh, I've got to click dislike on that as well. Let me click dislike there. You see, I'm not immune to this sort of thing. I know it's propaganda. I know it's not real, but it's uncomfortable to watch this sort of thing. It's uncomfortable. I understand how this impacts people, especially people who don't realise that it's all flannel, that it's a political hoax. It can be. It's a scientific fraud. It can be traced back to the Club of Rome. And I mean, this is what Sandy Adams was talking about at the Basis Conference. They literally said we need a new enemy to unite us, and why not make the enemy humanity itself? Yeah, so this has led to the most appalling self-hatred. I mean, you hear all about like white people feeling self-hatred. The Club of Rome was saying we all should feel especially white people, of course, but we all should feel self-hatred because of because we are now the problem of the earth. So if for example they want to fulfill the Georgia Guidestones, or what used to be the Georgia Guidestones pledge, to have the population of 500 million across the globe, a fraction of what it is now, maybe then we won't protest so much when it comes to the chop. Okay, guys. Now, what was I going to do next? Yeah, let's go back to that graph. Claire's already mentioned the graph looks like BS. Claire, I'm coming to that. Don't worry, I'm coming to that. Basically, what they're saying is, let me just go to display capture again. What they're saying is basically, to avoid that kind of fate, to stop this red line going up and up and up and up forever until we turn into Venus. There's only one way to stop that red line and bring it back down again, right? And that is an international state of emergency. Temporary, of course, totally temporary. And what they'll do is they'll bring in a dictatorial world government which will have complete control over a totally resource-based economy, which will control everything from how often you fart. Because believe it or not, what you release from your body when you fart? Methane hydrate. It's a greenhouse gas. Yeah, literally. I was going to be a joke, but really seriously, they'll stick something up your bottom with a meter on it. So every time you blow off, it'll record it and probably tax you. Yeah, 100% taxation. No real money, just everything rationed, things like that. And if we do that, they'll bring everything under control. That's what it said at COP26. Do you remember the video I made about COP26? I think I did a live stream about it actually. And they'll bring this red light down to pre-industrial levels. Okay, so pre-industrial levels. Now, this is a buzzword they use, pre-industrial levels. And what do they mean? They mean this time before this red line began in the early 19th century, when the climate was a stable, unchanging equilibrium. That's what they're saying. Now, how many of you have heard of Climate Gate? Let me go back to the chat. Do you know what's meant by Climate Gate? We're all about Partygate and things like that. What about Climate Gate? I'm sorry, I can't go through all these comments. I'm very sorry. I can't. There are too many of them. I got 68. I appreciate all the comments you've made, but I can't go through all these comments. I'm sorry. Now, how many of you heard of Climate Gate? Do you know what it is? Rick Horn, I recommend Greta death metal. Closet Claire, pre-industrial levels. We'd have to go back to pre-industrial society. Claire, that's what they want. You see, before the early 19th century, we had an agrarian society. They want us to take us back to a time when we have no industry. There's only 500 million people, and we're basically living like peasants, without technology, without anything. Of course, the elite will still have their technology, but the rest of us will be eating bugs in pods and things. Now, the gate, anything with gate at the end, Dr. Respect, yes. Stephen, you've heard of it. Yeah, hide the decline, David. That's a good hide the decline. Yes, what they called it, nature's little trick. They called it. Now, what it was, right? This graph I just showed you. Let me just go back. What I've just showed you here, it's called the hockey stick graph because it looks like a hockey stick. I mean, a hockey stick specifically referring to what Americans call hockey, which we British people call ice hockey. It goes straight like that and suddenly goes up like that. Straight like that, up like that. Right. Do you want to know what that graph really looks like? Now my picture view is now hourglassing. Okay. This is spoiling my effect. Oh, come on. Right. Next one. Right. Let me just. This is what that graph really looks like. That graph I just showed you is not like a hockey stick at all. It's more like a tortoise's back. This is what it really looks like. Obviously, like this is again. It's not 100%. Neither of those graphs is 100% accurate. The last one though was caused by deceit. This is just caused by slight. It's like you see, you have here the change in temperature on the x-axis, and to here you have time on the y-axis. And again, I don't know what this means on the far axis, but the hockey stick is actually more like a tortoise, right? Here's the bit at the end. Obviously, it's not quite so. The bit at the end here is the bit where it goes up. You see what goes up to there, and you go back here. You find these pre-industrial levels right down here. And obviously, see this 0 degrees baseline is set slightly higher than on the last one. I think you see it's just drawn. It's just drawn slightly differently. Just try to. There's this 0 thing there, and I think that's set at the same time. I'm just going to check with the previous graph. One sec. Yeah, you see here that 0 where it says 0. It's that. It's there. You see where it says 0 there on the temperature anomaly bit. That is like the 0. Am I on screen share again? Yes, I am. Right. That is like the 0 there. So there, see. So basically, you're looking at basically the same line here. This part is accurate. The part basically anything before the 16th century is accurate. You see, it's low like that, and then suddenly it goes up. Now the problem is that on that graph, the hockey stick graph, this line continues back in time for another 500 to 600 years. It just is. It's down here, but in reality, it doesn't do that. It goes right up here to the medieval warm period, which peaked around 1200, in which the actual temperature rise was round about 0.2.5 degree, 0.2, 0.3 degrees. Pretty much the same as what it is now. But it lasted a lot longer. I mean, the actual warm period we're in now has only lasted about 200 years. This lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 years before it descended into the Ice Age. And if you want to know what happened during the medieval warm period, you don't need to believe me and believe that this graph is real. Look, we built cathedrals, those amazing cathedrals. Now, a society which is devastated the way you saw in that film, the Age of Stupid, could never do that. There was also, if you go around certain places, you find the names Vineyard Road, Vineyard Street. Okay, a vineyard is a place where grapes are grown for wine. Now, why are there places in England called Vineyard Street, Vineyard? Street names and place names are wonderful because they have history recorded into them. Because they're place names and names of streets are often very old, and they have a lot of. They're not arbitrary. They often have something to do with history. The reason is because there were vineyards in Britain, certainly in southern England, during the medieval warm period. We produced wine. Now, you can't produce wine in Britain today. We don't have a warm enough climate. Well, we may get one back. We may have one now, but we didn't sort of throughout history until the medieval warm period. What's more, during the medieval warm period, it wasn't all good though, because people in the southeast of England, malaria actually was in Britain in that time. So people caught malaria. Now, again, malaria is a disease we associated with hot parts of the world, hot countries. That's because Britain was a hot country. Yeah, I don't recall London flooding during the medieval warm period. The polar bears survived, didn't they? ClimateGate is about taking this graph here and turning it into that for the sake of publicity. This was the graph that was published. This one is scientific data, and it's backed up by other forms. It's backed up by other things. Exactly, history, like I said, place names, the fact that we had vineyards. Now, interestingly, if you go back 1,000 years before this graph began, you enter the Roman period. No, I'm not going to have a Boudica moment. Don't worry. In which there was also vineyards. The Romans had vineyards in Britain, right up to Hadrian's Wall in what is now Northumberland. Now, tell me, could you do that today? Could you grow vineyards? Could you grow grapes for wine in Northumberland? Is there such a thing as Geordie wine? Oh, it's got a lovely book here, bonny lad. Of course it's not. So what's going on here? This is basically, ClimateGate is a complicated thing, but this is basically what it's all about. It's about, this is difficult. This is difficult for the narrative we've got at the moment. This is difficult we've got because this indicates there was no industry in the medieval warm period. There weren't turbocharged handcarts. People didn't have SUVs. Evil white imperialists didn't go around releasing their carbon footprints into the atmosphere. So, how do you justify the carbon taxes? How do you justify the IPCC? How do you justify all these international regulations decided at COP21 and COP26? Someone needs to. There's people. This bollocks is ruining people's lives. This bollocks is destroying childhoods. Look at Greta. She's a terrified young adult she's got the mind of a teenager, and she's terrified out of her wits. And if I'd been a little kid, this would have scared me to death. This is evil. People have killed themselves over this. People have committed suicide over this. Let me just show you another picture. I've covered this in another video. I'm going to show you it again. Let me just show you another image here. Let's have a look at this. Where is it? Now this is horrific. Now I'll just put on screen share now. Look at this here. Polar bear. This is the mirror. Polar bear, kings on tight as the iceberg he's resting on melts away. Imagine you're a 5-year-old kid and you see this. I know how I would have responded to this. If I was a 5-year-old kid, I was a very empathic child. I'd have cried my eyes out over this. This poor polar bear. Obviously, this piece of ice is broken off. It's floating away and melting due to climate change caused by evil white people in their industry, right? And it's going to drown. But polar bears are excellent swimmers. They are semi-aquatic. Polar bears can swim for hundreds of miles. This is a picture designed to tug at your heartstrings and manipulate your emotions, so that you think and feel in a certain way and end up thinking in a certain way, because propaganda is not designed it's not designed to be persuasive logically. It's designed to go straight past your logic circuits and straight into the emotions, into the hypothalamus, and start making you feel outrage, upset, usually negative emotions normally. That's what propaganda is designed to do. If propaganda is logical, if it actually appeals to you on a logical level, it'll never work, because you can, once you start talking on a logical level, people will engage in arguments, and it can be disproved. Propaganda doesn't say, well, is this polar bear in danger? It says the polar bear's in danger, it's going to drown. And all propaganda is like that. All propaganda shows you image, usually fake. It's usually fake information and misleading like this. It makes you appeals to you on a certain level, and then you react the way whoever created the propaganda wants. It's always this. I can give you hundreds of other examples of propaganda doing that. Oh yeah. So what basically happened is, like, what I'm basically saying, I'm going to have to skip some of your comments. You must have posted hundreds of them while I've been doing this little bit. Climate change is real, in the sense climates change. In the same way that the medieval warm period began, we seem to be heading into another warm period. It may not be as long. In fact, several climate scientists I know are already stating things like, we got to, patterns in the sun. People like Piers Corbyn. How come people have demonized this guy? They laugh at him. He's been proved wrong. What's happened to my audio? Steve says my audio's clipped. Oh, bloody heck! Right, so my audio is gone. It's dipped. Let's have a look. Okay, it's working alright on OBS. Is anyone else having problems with my audio? Maybe just be at Steve's end. I'm back now. Right. What? How long was I away? Did something go wrong? What the fuck? I'm gonna have to sound okay here. Do I have to repeat this all again? Because it's still here, just lower. Right. Oh, bloody heck. Could anyone, if I have actually gone quiet, could somebody let me know? Because I've just made some really important points. Thanks, Della. Thanks, Paul. Sound back. How long? Hello, Jules. How are you? Hello. How are you doing? How long was I out? How long did I go quiet? Could anyone tell me? I was moving my mic was what caused it, was it? When I just moved my mic a little bit. Did I actually go completely silent at any point? About 10 seconds. Not out, right. You could hear fine all. Oh bloody heck! I hate when this happens. I need to have like a roadie in the gallery with it. Okay, seconds only. Right. All right. No. Okay. Oh, it's 30 seconds now. All right. Let me just. I'll go. I've got and check it when it started. Hang on. Fucking hell. I don't have to repeat everything I just said, did I? Do I? Oh, was it very recent? How long ago was it? Let's have a look. Sound out. I'm just going to go back to find it when people start talking about my sound. Right, no one mentions it up here, so I'm assuming it's maybe not that bad. Hello Brian Clare, how you doing? Okay, no one's talking about it, so it can't be that bad. Alright, I'm going to carry on. Basically, I was saying... Alright, it was just a bit quiet. Okay, thanks very much. I'll just carry on. Basically, what I'm saying is that it all makes sense when you realise that the objective of this propaganda and everything we've talked about over the last half hour, everything you talked about, Hugo says, don't worry, I won't get far on foot. Oh, Hugo. The objective, what they want is they want a tyrannical world government. They want internationalism. They want authoritarianism. Now, they can't just come forward and say we want authoritarianism. We want internationalism. We want a world government in which everybody, the few people allowed to live, are slaves. They can't say that. What they can say is we need a temporary international state of emergency, which will be like the New World Order, but it's not. And the only way we don't want to do it, but we have to, or the planet's going to die. It's going to turn into Venus. Thanks, Rick. The order is fine. That's basically what it is. And so, in a nutshell, what I've just talked about is designed to make people support the very thing that is so terrible for them. It's what David Icke calls problem, reaction, solution. Now, on the subject of HAARP, I want to go into this. Right, people, is it possible that this heat wave, and indeed is what we're seeing over the last 20 years? In other words, it appears we are rising. We're rising up again. David says, Ben, surely you've watched the Great Global Warming Swindle on Channel 4. Yes, I have, David. I think that's essential viewing. We are now entering, it's not going to turn into Venus. It appears we're entering what looks like it may be a repeat of the medieval warm period, or it may be much shorter than that. It may be a mini warm period before it starts getting colder again. But is it possible that this rise in temperature that we've seen, the anomalous wind patterns which have caused weather from North Africa and the Mediterranean to move northwards, is it possible that in a sense is artificial? Lisa mentioned it earlier. She mentioned earlier on. Paul Curtis has mentioned Holland. I don't have time to talk about the farmers' protest, but I think that's a very important thing. All right. Is it possible that it's been artificially generated? I mean, I'm very surprised, and Lisa's mentioned this. The heat wave actually, it's really peaked. It peaked today. Yet it's not. Normally these things decline slowly. But it's cutting off sometime tonight, and tomorrow the forecast is for 26 degrees and 40% chance of rain. I mean, it's a normal summer's day tomorrow. I was joking with someone today, saying, I might better wrap up warm tomorrow. It's only going to be 26 degrees. And Hugo's seen that an ice age is coming. It's perfectly possible, but so now I was actually debating with someone. Someone said, "Oh no, it's not possible to do that. The technology." The method to actually cause vast pockets of air, millions and millions of tons of air, to move across the Earth's surface doesn't exist. Well, I would think again. Now, this is I can't go into details here, but basically, as long ago as the 1950s, this was happening. I'm just going to show you a little clip from a video here. I'll probably get another third-party strike on this, but I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Third parties don't really matter anyway. Here we go. How many of you seen this? Eyes in Outer Space. It's a Disney film. It's only 26 minutes long. It was made in 1959 by Disney.
Sector C.
Okay, let's go begin. We'll go to the beginning here, right? Basically,
Science, which
search for the best hotel deals.
Shut up. Basically, it's a film about. It's a futuristic docudrama. It's some of it's animated.
that will lead to a better understanding.
This was a long time ago. This is only just after Sputnik. This was made, and it tells you. You see here weather. You see here. I'll just skip through these, but you see here floods, tornadoes.
We have always been. We are apt to be depressed. For the same host.
Okay, let's go.
Then he's joined by his friends. They're together.
Go back.
Vaporized.
Now it gets interesting later on. That just explains the water cycle.
Clash of these opposing airstreams causes.
It's important. It's important to realise Disney wasn't just Disney. What was it? Alan Partridge says about Walt Disney. He just drew pictures of mice. Well, Walt Disney didn't just draw pictures of mice. His company was involved in propaganda dating right back to World War II. And in fact, there's some World War II propaganda films by Disney. But so this is one. This is from 1959, and it's like I say, it's a documentary with some animated fictionalizations in. Go for
track of the steady parade of storm and modern electronic computers now play an important part in weather forecasting by their ability to store and rapidly process vast amounts of data. Periods of centuries indicate cycles in the Earth's climate.
Oh, there, see.
Past records of bird and animal migration.
See, they used to talk about cycles in the Earth's climate. They don't talk about that anymore. Because what's interesting about this video, even though there is propaganda in this video, it's generally speaking, it is an informative documentary, and it's made before someone had the idea of making global warming a problem reaction solution, as David Icke calls it, a hobby horse to harness the New World Order.
Or the adventurous scientists are probing the atmosphere. More advanced scientific devices for gathering data continuously over long.
Here we go.
On the oscilloscope, the control room.
Oh, this is where it gets.
Maps and view screens display up-to-the-minute pictures.
Oh, well, of course. That's again.
Stay flexible. Search now on Kayak.
This is where it gets a bit sci-fi. Look.
Around the Earth. Every hour, reports are automatically received from all points at sea.
Right. This is a futuristic image of a weather station. However, this is not a weather forecasting outfit here. This is weather control.
On land and in the air. 22,000 miles out in space, 3 robot satellites train their sensitive television eyes on all parts of the Earth. These pictures are monitored on viewing screens in the Weather Center. Here in the computing room, electronic machines digest the constant flood of information received from all stations. This is then translated into an ever-changing diagram of the Earth's weather. Forecasts for every sector of the globe are made months in advance. Prediction charts have indicated that a powerful hurricane will begin forming today in the Atlantic Ocean. The electronic weather map shows an intense storm system building up about 1,000 miles due east of Miami, Florida. The controller calls for a close-up satellite view of the troubled area. Coco 526, Yankee 2.5. Okay, controller, Coco 526, Yankee 2.5.
All right.
The characteristic swirling clouds of the hurricane are beginning to form. At sea, the waves anticipate the violence to come. The controller calls for a last-minute prediction of the hurricane's path.
That's it, because hurricanes cause devastation, don't they? Where they, especially in areas in the southern United States and Caribbean. And well, there's not a lot we can do about them, is there? Or is there?
If control measures are not begun at once, the hurricane will smash across densely populated areas.
Did he say control measures? This is a massive storm. This is millions of tons of air hurtling in a certain direction. Did he say control measures?
Within 48 hours.
EST. A hurricane is forming 960 miles east of Miami, Florida. If control measures are ineffective, it will pass inland at Cape Hatteras in 48 hours.
Control measures, eh?
Control operations will begin within 2 hours, but safety precautions should be completed from Cape Fear, north no later than 6 p.m. tomorrow.
At Weather Central, the control strategy is mapped out. A ridge of high pressure slants across the eastern United States between two low-pressure storm systems. If these two storm centers are intensified, the high will build up along the coast, forming a barrier that will turn the hurricane out to sea.
Stand by. Now pulling in satellite number 1 for visual check of low-pressure systems L20 and L21.
The operator brings the satellite into focus on the two storms. One centered over Kansas, the other over Labrador.
Changing to northeastern low, L21.
With the touch of a button, the battle begins. On the ground, chemical cloud seeders begin to work the two storm areas. Robot planes seed the clouds from above.
Oh, chemtrails aren't real, are they? Chemtrails are fantasy. This was in 1959. This is not a fiction. I know it's fictionalized. It's a scientific. It's a science fiction kind of prediction. It's a scientific futuristic kind of projection. But this is a documentary.
The storm centers over Kansas and over Labrador intensify as seeding continues.
Now changing over to Hurricane Center H8.
The fury of the hurricane mounts as 100-mile-an-hour winds lash the sea to a foaming frenzy.
All stations, Sector C. Activate Phase 2 Control Plan Delta. Set vapor rockets for 42,000 feet.
As an emergency measure, the controller calls for a salvo of vapor rockets to be fired ahead of the path the hurricane is predicted to take. These artificial clouds will block the sun from evaporating more water to feed the hurricane. The reports coming into the control center indicate that the diversionary cloud seeding over Kansas is now creating a flood danger. Specially equipped robot aircraft are dispatched immediately to release a high concentration of cloud seeding material into the fringes of the storm. Heavier seeding from the ground also helps to subdue the rain by spreading it over a wider area. The controller calls for another view of the hurricane, which has now moved closer to the coast.
Signal out on number 1 satellite. 10-minute interruption for correction. Have you anything else in the area?
Satellite station S1 is approaching area. We'll make contact. S1, this is Weather Central. Request video signal at grid coordinates Coco.
An emergency situation has developed. In an orbiting space station 1,000 miles above the hurricane, a crewman sends a temporary picture back to Weather Central.
Okay, S1, your video is R5S5. Thank you.
The hurricane has stopped moving toward the coast, but is still intensifying. It must be made to move northward and out to sea. This is a crisis.
Aberdeen Station. Activate multiple seeding rockets on course 117.
The controller decides to fire cloud seeding rockets just ahead of the hurricane, hoping to start it moving. Slowly the hurricane begins to shift. All available forces have been brought into play. Now we can only watch and wait.
You get the picture there, guys, don't you? I think you get the picture. Now, of course, what we have there is a projected it's a documentary about the future, a futuristic situation which it will be possible to control the weather using technology which was available, which was being developed at the time in the 1950s, and weather as a weapon, says Kerry Woolley. Surely it's obvious when you watch that. In this case, it's an imaginary scenario about the Weather Control Center protecting the United States Atlantic seaboard from a hurricane, which would have devastated the area like it does in places like Florida, sending it back out to sea away from the country. Now, surely you must realise, it's obvious that that same technology could be used to drive another hurricane towards a country. Towards a country in which it would devastate that particular country, and whoever did it would have complete plausible deniability. And as Kerry Woolley says, it would be a terrible weapon of war. And if you think that hasn't been done, I want to show you another video. Hang on, let's just show you another video. Hang on. Well, I've already covered this in here we go. The Lynmouth disaster. Just have a look at this. Hang on, I'll just show you this. Do you remember when I went to Lynmouth? It's in one of my Devon sky watching videos. I went to Lynmouth, which is a town in the north coast of Devon. It sits in a valley by the sea. Oh, bloody ads are too long. No skip button. Look at this. You remember what it looked like when I showed you it on my camera? This is what it looked like in 1952. Well, in August, I think it was.
Yesterday, Lynmouth was a peaceful holiday resort. Today, it is a ruin. Pathé cameraman Bill Jordan was on the spot soon after floods had swept down from the hills to smash the little town. And this is his story. I knew very little about Lynmouth before I arrived. When I looked around, I was almost glad I didn't. Friends had sent me picture postcards of Watersmeet, a beauty spot only a few miles away. It looked very pretty and quiet. It was this stream, swollen with rain, that became a raging torrent, and it was these boulders that were swept down to Lynmouth to destroy shops, hotels, and homes. In one single night, the main street had become a wild, churning river. It was dark red from the Devon soil.
Bloody hell, look at that.
When I was
Poor
there,
people.
nobody could tell for certain how many had been killed. We knew it was at least 22. I think it
was 38. Some of the bodies were never recovered. They were just washed out to sea.
Some of the people who had lost their homes and their friends. They were still bewildered, still unable to grasp that their little town, which some of the locals used to call Honeymoon Town, was now just rubble.
Is that a joke? End. Oh, dear, I think they're being silly there.
They told me of the awful speed with which the flood struck, and of the dreadful sound of the water, roaring and smashing its way through their homes. Already work has begun to mend the battered town. The army is there, and with them the men of the St. John's Ambulance and the women of the WVS, just as they were during the blitzes. Help has been generously given. Nearby villagers have opened their homes to give shelter to the homeless.
But I think over 100 people were made homeless by this.
Broken furniture littered the streets. As I stepped over the rubble to leave Lynmouth, a great dark cloud hung over the little town. Slowly, rain began to fall again.
All right. So, guys, that was the Lynmouth disaster of 1952. This was a few years before Disney made that particular documentary. And Steve 071 mentions 9/11. Yes, Hurricane Erin. Yeah. Oh, I've had a bloody copyright strike. What's happened here? We've detected copyright audio. Oh dear. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. Let me know if I get a temporary block. It shouldn't be a big deal. I'll probably just get a third-party strike. But now something was happening. I mean, a lot of people have been investigating this. The investigation is still going on. There's still a few survivors left who were small children at the time. The RAF were doing something. They were flying above Exmoor, doing some kind of. Thanks, Hugo. Thank you. Doing some kind of exercise involving. I can't remember the details, but they were spraying silver iodide into the sky. Now that is a well-known cloud seeding chemical. In fact, it was used in the Vietnam War. Now, in the Vietnam War, they had something called the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which basically the Viet Cong, the guerrilla force in the south, was being supplied by the communist north through basically some paths. It was very, very simple and very effective. Hello, lights were low. And David mentions Boscastle, the Boscastle flood in 2004. That was bad too. So by some miracle, no one was killed. I think 38 people were killed at Lynmouth. Everything was basically they used it called Project Popeye because they couldn't. There was no way they could stop this supply line because it was just people on bikes basically, and with things in their panniers, and they were riding along. As soon as an American plane flew over, they just hid in the bushes. So the Americans cloud seeded the area to exacerbate the Asian monsoon, which caused so much rainfall in the area of the Ho Chi Minh Trail that it was devastated. Rivers overflowed, bridges were destroyed, the Ho Chi Minh Trail was cut in two. Now, the silver iodide being tested over Exmoor resulted in it was done literally at the time when there was this flash flood. Huge amounts of rainfall, a freak rainstorm is what caused that, and huge boulders, as he said, giant boulders that have been there since the Ice Age were displaced by this torrent, dragged down the valley and through the village. Cars and everything, entire houses were completely obliterated. Cars were swept out to sea. It was all down to a freak weather event, but to this day that town still wants answers. There's an exhibition about the Lynmouth disaster, which I actually visited, if you remember, if you watched my video on the occasion. So what we've basically seen is weather control systems have been developed they have been developed openly, and it's been speculated that it can be used to control the weather, to protect countries from bad weather, from hurricanes, and of course could be used as a weapon to drive hurricanes towards other towns and cities, or indeed shift vast amounts of high pressure over northern Europe. Now, what if this has been done? What this whole thing has been engineered using those methods to make a point that the time for, as Greta said, how dare you, and all the things she's been talking about. The time for waiting is over. We need some kind of action to save the planet, and there's no other action we can have except global, full spectrum domination. And if you don't like it, well, do you want everything to drown? Do you want cities to be destroyed? Do you want the Earth to die? Do you want planet Earth to turn into Venus? Surely not. And it's your fault, you evil white male industrialist. It's your fault. So you should be guilty for this. You need to pay. it could be that we're about to experience. There's going to be a huge amount of propaganda. We've already seen it with that BBC article. Following this heat wave, there's going to be a massive amount of propaganda. Claire, it's all an excuse to depopulate. Correct. There's going to be a massive amount of propaganda following this heat wave. We hit 40 degrees. We mustn't believe this hype. I don't know specifically whether what's happened over the last few days is a result of what I've just showed you, the methodology I've just showed you, developed in secret, or whether it is simply a natural fluctuation of the Earth's climate system, as David Bellamy says. Either way, it's not caused by evil white men putting harmless plant food into the atmosphere. It's not that. It's nothing we should feel guilty about. It's nothing we should be afraid of. If you're able to enjoy it the way Lisa does, you should enjoy it. Otherwise, just get through it as much as you can. Take precautions, obviously, but for goodness sake, don't lie in your bed trembling, thinking the Earth's about to die. And Lisa says, if temperature rises in Siberia, Siberia will become a major agricultural production area. Yes. Oh, we wouldn't want that. No. Also, not only that, it's the polar ice cap. If it does shrink a little bit more, the Northwest Passage will be open to international trade. I mean, like ships. It's been speculated. The climate alarmists have been speculating since the late 70s. That before the year 2000, the Northwest Passage would be open. The Northwest Passage is basically the coast of the Arctic Ocean along the north coast of Siberia. It is possible to get from the North Sea and the Norwegian Sea right through to the Bering Sea and eventually the Pacific Ocean using that method. Oh, it'll be all open. You can have like trade. Ships will be going along there just like they do across the Pacific. Oh dear. Hugo says, Ben, tell me more on the latest on disclosure. Oh my God, Hugo. Oh dear, I need a tap of speed to do that, I think. So, guys, if I can't really think of anything more to add except to say, this is. Do you have any questions or comments? Jules says, governments across the world are weak. The powers that should not be are getting itchy. The older elites are dying off, and the younger ones are impatient. Very impatient, Jules. Yes. Are you Julie? Let's have a look at your avatar. Are you Julie Phelps? Yeah, they are. They're getting very impatient. I think their impatience is interesting. I think they're sensing serious resistance. So yeah, I do. Like I said, they want full spectrum world domination. Oh, Leon Joe says Michael S had a portering question, Ben. Michael, could you repeat it, please? I can't answer questions and do this presentation at the same time. Sorry, so I might have missed it. And if I keep, it's like, oh my God. Steve071, how's the espionage thriller coming along, Ben? I'm going to publish chapter 6 pretty soon. I've almost done chapter 6. I'm going to publish them one at a time. It's a serial. Have we got a hospital porter here? Have I got a brother porter in the chat? Jules, alright. You'll message me Discord, sure, no problem. What was Michael S? Is Michael S gone? What was Michael S's comment? Hang on. It's too. I can't never get through all these comments, that's the thing. Oh, Ben, I was trying to signal there. Ben, Michael S needs portering advice. Here we are. Oh, Michael S says, I came here expecting to find other hospital porters. Michael S, pride and dignity, brother. What's your question? Alright. Michael S, how long have you been a hospital porter, Ben? I start on Monday. Oh, Michael, you're starting as a hospital porter on Monday. Well, I'm not a hospital porter anymore. I haven't been one for 10 years, but I was one for 23 years. Oh, Rhiannon's just said, Rhiannon's reminded me, starting as a porter on Monday. Michael, if you're still there, my goodness me, it's changed enormously since. It's changed so much. It's so enormously since I was in it. I'm not sure I could. All I know is it's gone downhill. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not trying to put you off, but it's the NHS is not what it used to be. But if you want to email me, you can find my email on my website, Panmo TV. I'm happy to coach you. Cosmic Claire says, would you consider a live stream on the lost ancient civilization and the end of the Ice Age? Yes, I would, Claire. That'd be a great thing to do. Hugo's trying to keep me going till 3 a.m. isn't he? What's your thoughts on disclosure? Brian Clare, Ben, do you think the fires are related to underground tunnels? Someone was posting that actually on Twitter, and they got banned from a friend of mine posted it on Twitter, and they got banned. So maybe it is. Maybe it's the deep state have finally been cleared out. I don't know. Rick says, when Venus is mentioned, I always think of the wonderful performances of DeForest Kelley and Leonard Nimoy in the Star Trek Planet of Love episode. Oh, I'm sure I've seen that episode. I can't remember it particularly. But Steve071 says, Ben, you need to do a director's commentary type upload to answer all the questions you miss. We may need a 10-hour video. Hey, I'm doing the bloody comments reply video. All I can say is, look, if you put a comment addressed to me in the live stream and the live chat, you can always just if you cut and paste it and put it in underneath the recording in the comments box underneath the recording, I'll answer it there. I think Michael S has gone. Sorry, Michael S. Oh, Rhiannon Jones says, I told him to watch the gas spanner. Yeah, thank you, Rhiannon. Oh, Rhiannon, thank you very much. She handled it there. Thank you very much. That's really great. Jules says, Venus makes me think of Val Valiant Thor. Yeah, he apparently came from Venus, didn't he? He's based on that film we did the watch party on, The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's based on the story of Val Valiant Thor. Oh, David, Splendid Isolation has a thunderstorm where he is now. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, so, does anyone else have any questions or comments? David says, flashes of lightning. We haven't got one here, but I'll keep a lookout for them, David. I hope we get one. Not when I'm out working tomorrow, but overnight will be great. Oh, guys, so it's been a good live stream. Just if I'll end it. We've gone over 2 hours, so I'll end it unless anyone has anything more to add. So let me know. Going once, going twice. Oh, Steve says, good night, Ben. Okay, if there's no disclosure chat coming. Oh my goodness me! Everyone says that. Tell me about disclosure. Oh yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve071. Much appreciated. No more comments or questions, anyone? Love you, Ben. Thanks, Jules. Thank you. Night, Cosmic Claire. Night, Greg. Michael S says Michael Prince. Oh, Michael S, you're still here, Brother Porter. Let me know how you get on tomorrow. Put a comment underneath. Good night, Hugo Rune. Night, Jules. David Splendid Ice Station is going to go running naked in the rain. Make sure you film yourself, David. Get someone to film you. But I'm not putting it on my channel. Respect, Brian Clare. Thanks very much, mate. Thank you. Good. It's good. It's been a good live stream. It's been fun, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's put comments. It wouldn't be the same, obviously. It would just be a boring live stream if you guys didn't post live comments. It would be just basically me talking to the camera. It wouldn't be much fun. So good night, all of you. Now, why the silence on Michael Prince? Says Michael S. I don't know. Do you want me to talk about James Casper? Honestly, I could do, but it's been handled by other people. I mean, for example, Miles Johnston, down the Not My Rabbit Hole with Terry Joyce, who was commenting here earlier. Check out her channel. She's done several commentaries on that. I'm not silent on him, Michael. I just don't have anything original to say. Night, David. Splendid Isolation. Much love, Jules. Rod, I'm sorry. Never mind, Rod. You can watch the recording. But thank you, all of you, for watching this live stream. It's much appreciated. It's been good fun. I'm sorry I haven't been able to answer all your comments, but there's been just too many other things to do. I appreciate all the comments you've. Ben, what about Hugo Rune wants to say disclosure? I will come back to disclosure at some point. I'm absolutely sure it might happen on Friday. You never know. Take it easy, guys. Night. My next video will be I want to do the watch party for the Fourth Kind. There probably won't be another video now till the weekend, but I might do that on the weekend. Greg Hayes, hit the like button. Yeah, please do. Thanks, Greg. Thanks very much. See you guys. Much appreciated. Keep an eye on the channel. There'll be more coming. Probably Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Not before Friday. But tune into the Hapanwo show on Hapanwo Radio tomorrow, 8 p.m. on Panamo Radio tomorrow, so check that out. Take it easy, guys. See ya.